Hey everyone, it's Chirpy, your favorite rogue, here again with another video. This time I'll be showing you how to play using the Count the Odds build. Check the link in the description if you'd like to copy it. If you want to see how it performs in dungeons, be sure to check out my other video, link in the description, of my first key using this build in a +20 Naku. First, I'll be showing you how to do our single target rotation, then I'll play it back in slow motion while I explain what I'm pressing and why. Then I'll demonstrate our AoE opener, and again, play it back in slow motion with explanations of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I just want to thank everybody for watching and just point out, most of the people who are watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. I would really appreciate it if you take 2 seconds, subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out a lot, and if you're enjoying the videos anyways, you'll always be notified whenever I post a new one. Thank you so much. Now let's get on to the content. This is the current talent build that I'm using. You can get this in the description. And you can see here I opt to not take a utility poison. You can instead, if you need it for your composition, you drop Nimble Fingers, take Numbing Poison, and you work down this tree. You could also drop Cold Blood. It's only a 0.7% DPS loss if you lose this, so it's not that big of a deal. Nimble Fingers is a DPS node, even though it is for defensive abilities, because it reduces the energy cost of your defensives, which means more energy for builders and spenders. So you could drop Cold Blood and take Utility Poison as well as Nimble Fingers if you want. But for this example, I'm showing you the highest DPS build possible. And then on this tree, we dropped Greenskin's Whiskers, and we took 1 point in Count the Odds. So Count the Odds says, Ambush and Dispatch have a 10% chance to grant you a Roll the Bones combat enhancement buff you do not already have for 5 seconds. Duration and chance doubled while stealth. So that part where duration and chance doubled while stealth applies to if you press Vanish and then your next ambush right outside of Vanish can apply the buff. When you press Vanish and you press Dispatch at the start as your first button after Vanish, you could get the buff. And when you're in Shadow Dance, all of your ambushes and dispatches can apply the buff if you roll high enough. So you want to make sure that before you press Vanish and Dispatch or Shadow Dance and Dispatch that you already have a fresh Between the Eyes on your target. Because you don't want to be using Between the Eyes during Shadow Dance. You have a chance of not getting the buff because you're using Between the Eyes. Between the Eyes cannot grant you the Count the Odds buff. And then for the items that I have on, I'm currently 417 item level, 34 crit, so I'm not using any buzzing runes or anything. When I have buzzing runes on, I go up to 38%, haste 5%, mastery 26%, first 21%. I would be using a crit verse ring on here if I had one, but I do not, so I'm using a crit mastery ring, which is your second best option if you don't have a crit verse ring. And for single target, you want to be using a jeweled signet of Melandris. I have 2 of them in my bags right here. So you want to be using one of these, but you only use it on Taros. You don't use this ring on any dungeon content. So that is it. That's the build. That's the itemization. And now onto the rotation. For the sake of trying to keep this consistent for everybody, I'm not going to be using any on-use trinkets for this video. If you want to track the buttons I'm pressing, you can look at the bottom right corner of the screen there. It says the target and the order of what I'm pressing. I have the spell cast timeline as well, so be sure to watch that. And it will also be included in the slow motion, which is coming up right after this. Alright, so to start our single target opener, we Adrenaline Rush and then immediately press Roll the Bones to ensure that we get loaded dice buff. We are getting our Between the Eyes on cooldown as our first spender. Then we are using whatever proc we get into Slice and Dice, and then we're just using a procs until we don't really have anything here. We have a Hidden Opportunity proc, we press it, more Dispatch spenders. Right here, I have the option of Rapid Fire or Vanish. I choose to Rapid Fire just to make sure that I can maintain longevity. And then once I run out of procs, I press my Vanish. I try to get as many ambushes out as possible. And then we continue going on. As soon as I run out of ambush from Vanish, I press my Shadow Dance, even though I had a Rapid Fire proc, so I can try to spam out as many ambushes as possible while still in our Adrenaline Rush window. Then it's just a matter of keeping Between the Eyes on the target at all times, and maintaining our rotation of building and spending as efficiently as possible with ambushes, pistol shots, and dispatches.
So our AoE opener, we're going to approach our target, do the same thing as single target where we adrenaline rush into roll of bones to get our loaded dice buff. Blade Flurry is our very first damage button we press here. Into ambush between the eyes on our main target. Use whatever proc you have to get your slice and dice up. And then we continue using our procs until we can't. We're sending dispatches now. As soon as I run out of procs, I press my vanish button to try to get out some more ambushes. I can get out 4 globals there. Ambush, ambush, dispatch, ambush. And then I make sure that I keep Blade Flurry up at all times as well here. You don't want to ever let your Blade Flurry fall off in AoE, otherwise you're going to be losing a lot of damage. As soon as I run out of procs again, I press my Shadow Dance, and we're just trying to spam out as many ambushes as possible. Even if you get to 6 pistol-loaded bullets, you still want to be using your ambush during your Shadow Dance, because every time you ambush and dispatch while in Shadow Dance, you have a chance of increasing the amount of roll the bones buffs you get, and if you're in Shadow Dance, you double the duration that you would normally get from Count the Odds, because you're technically in a stealth form. And then we're just continuing with our single target rotation while maintaining Blade Flurry. Outlaw's really simple for doing AoE. You just have to manage it between the eyes and Blade Flurry with this build. Even better, you don't have to spam between the eyes with this build like you do with Greenskin. So you just want to try to reset your between the eyes at the very last second if possible to maximize the amount of dispatches that you do. Dispatch has over 10% more damage on a 7 combo point spender than a between the eyes does. So it's very important that you're not just spamming between the eyes off cooldown with this build. And again, we're just rotating through our procs. And that is it. That is all. Whenever you get Adrenaline Rush back up, you just want to send that immediately as well. And that's it. That's the AoE and the single target rotation for Outlaw. Another note, you'll see I hold my Blade Rush for a very long time, and that's because you only want to use Blade Rush when you absolutely have to. If you're sending Blade Rush too early, you're wasting a lot of damage that you can be getting from combo points and spenders.
That's it for the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you stuck around, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow Twitch at twitch.tv/chirpytv. I stream high keys, low keys, all keys, raid things, and more. Hope to see you guys soon.